Alright guys, so first video. I don't know how good this is gonna be, but we're gonna try because I've been wanting to do this for a while. But today we're doing a bulletproof oil cooler, bulletproof diesel. Already got my truck torn apart pretty good. We got this in. We already got all the way down to the oil cooler. So today I'm just gonna try to show you guys kind of how I got all this in, and then what I figure out once I get everything in the easiest way. I'm gonna try to show you guys kind of my steps I do it and the best way I find to do it, because there's not really any videos on this that I can find. So hopefully this is helpful, and yeah, let's get into it, I guess. So with this, if your transmission cooler on the 6.0, this right here, if it is a 17-inch transmission cooler, you're gonna have to, they give you these brackets, you're gonna have to put those brackets on. These are the old ones. Those brackets right here, just drop it down 2 inches. And these brackets down here that are on the bottom, you're gonna have to cut them just right above that little lip. Cut them, and then you can drill a hole right there. And same on the other one, right behind your, you're gonna have to take off your power steering cooler, but cut that bracket and that bracket. And what I did was I just pulled, you just pull these off, pick this up, have someone hold it for you maybe, or strap it up somewhere if you don't have anyone to hold it. I don't know how you want to do that, but hold that up, drill all the rivets out, and they send you rivets and everything. Drill the rivets out, rivet it back in, throw that back on, not too bad. And then with this, you're supposed to, you got these little screws right here. You're gonna wanna, there's some already little holes in here, and they're kind of just like a self-tapper almost. Just find holes that line up with the holes on the bulletproof diesel mount and screw them in. What I did is I just pulled it out right here and screwed these ones in. And then on this side, since I can't drain my Freon, I don't have enough space right here. I mean, I probably could have taken like this off and stuff and had enough space, but for now, until I get deeper into it one of these days, I don't have any bolts on this side. I just put this back on and zip tied it. I know, real janky of me, but it's all right? And then I'm not sure if this is exactly how I'm gonna want this to sit in the end. It was kind of a pain in the butt to even get it right here, but we'll see once I get it farther together if this is how I want it to sit. But yeah, you've got your 90 elbow on this top piece, and your, I think it's a 12-inch hose right here going from the cooler back to this. And then we'll put this, got to get this all sealed up. We'll put this right where the old oil cooler sits. I'm gonna drain that. You don't have to, but I want to because my oil cooler actually blew, and that's why I started this project. So I have coolant, or I have oil in my coolant and coolant in my oil. But yeah, so I'm gonna drain that and get this sealed up, guys, and we'll see where we go from there. All right, guys, we just finished vacuuming out under the oil cooler. Pop this out, it just goes right down in there. Just toss that in the trash. If you got a bunch of debris on it, like this one's pretty clean, still got like a little bit, but I know some of them have a lot of crap on them. Don't be too worried about it. It's pretty normal. But on the new one, they got a new design for a catch for a screen, so you don't need to put this back in, so you could just throw that in the trash. And yeah, so we're gonna get, so what you guys are gonna want to do, actually, before I forget, all the bolt holes going around, take an air nozzle, preferably one with like a rubber end, but just any air chuck, and blow out all the holes for the bolts, get out all that oil, because when you go to torque down your bolts, you'll torque them and they'll still be loose, the thing will still be loose because it won't compress the oil. So just remember, get all the bolt holes cleaned out good so you're not trying to compress the oil in there and stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We're gonna get the seals thrown on this thing, get those bolt holes cleaned out real fast, and then we'll torque them down and start putting it back together. It shouldn't take too long after this. All right guys, we got the seal on. This thing, actually the seal is super easy on this one. Normally I put a little bit of sealant maker or something, anything like that on to keep the seal from falling off, but Bulletproof Diesel did a real good job of making it tight when you put the seal in, so it doesn't fall out when you turn it upside down. So that was nice. And I got all the bolts in. I'm gonna torque them down to 20 foot-pounds. That's what I've always done. I've never had them leak, but I'm not sure what the legit torque spec is on these ones. I can't find these ones, but we'll torque these ones down to spec on the fuel bowl and fuel filter mount and stuff. But yep, so we'll get those torqued down and then we'll start putting everything else back on. All right guys, so we got the EGR in. What I like to do is get that clamp on and just get it like finger tight where you can still turn this, because this is gonna have to be level with your intake when you're putting the intake on. So just leave that loose, get these clamps on, and then just throw your gaskets on there, and then just weave that thing right under there. It's kind of a pain in the butt, I think, but getting it off at least. Getting it on is probably a little easier, but all right guys, I'll try to show you what I'm doing here a little bit. But so this gasket, it don't fit in there great, you know, they never do. So when you turn it upside down though, they fall out. Some people will put grease on them, all kinds of stuff, I don't know. But I just cleaned this up, just sprayed some brake cleaner in there, shouldn't hurt nothing. But I'm just gonna take some of this gasket and sealant and just dab it around in those loose places, and then stick that seal back in there so it'll stay when I turn it upside down, and then we'll put it on top of the oil cooler housing and torque all that shit down. All right, so these 3 bolts, guys, they're gonna send you 3 new ones, so use the 3 new ones on these little ones, and then these ones, just use the same old ones. These will be torqued to 16 foot-pounds, and these are gonna be torqued to 8 foot-pounds. So just make sure don't over torque those. And I'm gonna torque them down right now, and then we'll get the intake in, and I'll show you the pattern to torque those and everything. So yep. All right guys, so we got the intake in. We got these bolts on the EGR with the gasket in there, and most of the bolts tightened up. We got a couple loose back in the back. I gotta tighten those, but so you're gonna torque all these down to 8, like these ones are still loose, but we're gonna torque them all to 8. I'll show the sequence on the screen. I'll pull up a picture, but just follow that sequence and do them to 8 foot-pounds of torque. All right guys, we got the pedestal in, we got the drain tube in. Make sure you get it in good into this hole so that you don't end up with a leak or nothing. Got everything torqued down. The pedestal I don't torque, I just tighten it. I don't think it even has torque specs, I don't know, it probably does, but we're gonna throw the turbo in now. And you kind of just got to fish it in there. It's kind of a pain in the butt, for me at least. I don't know, some of y'all might be pretty good at it. But we'll throw the turbo on, fish it in that, and then we'll throw the lines on for the oil cooler. We'll route those, see how we want them to get routed. And then we should be pretty much done. Just gotta throw the fuel bowl and oil filter back on. Top it off, fill it up with oil. Put the piping back on, throw the batteries in. She'll be ready to rip. Alright guys, so we got the turbo all done. Got the fuel bowl and the oil filter bowl back in. Just need to put that back on. Got everything plugged in. Word of advice, don't put this line on until you put all the bolts in for this, because this line, if you have this style line at least, it'll be in the way to tighten that bolt. But we got all that done. Need to tighten the fuel lines now. Plug in the harness, the injector harness, throw the FICM on, and then we can just put all that junk back on, all easy stuff, alternator, that kind of stuff. And then we can see if she'll start. Alright guys, I kind of jumped forward a lot. It's a new day. Last night I just kind of got caught up in it. Finished it up, had a couple little mishaps. Got them all straightened out. We got it all back together though. She runs good. Just a little overlay of what all we had to do. So this oil cooler, this is the oil cooler, and it mounts where the AC used to mount. The AC is bumped up. The AC condenser is bumped up a little bit, and this mounts to the AC condenser. I didn't take the AC condenser off, so it's kind of mounted crappy on this side. We got the 90 running from this top one to the thermostat right here, and then we got it running to the 45 right down there. I didn't tighten that one all the way, I guess, because I had to take it off, and I forgot. Once I took it off, I forgot to retighten it, so I had a little leak there, but we got that all sorted out. And then we got this one running under the pipe, back down under the turbo, right down there, and it's all come together pretty good. I'm gonna go test drive it, make sure everything's running good, see what our temps are at. Hopefully they dropped. I was sitting about 200 to 205 on oil on a normal drive, and about 195 to 200 on my coolant normally. So we'll see how that varies, but yeah, it's all in. Hope this video helps you guys on something. You might, if you're able to, I might suggest tighten those hoses before you put your turbo back in. It'll give you a lot more room, especially if you don't have wrenches that fit it and you're using a crescent wrench like I was. It's kind of difficult to get those tightened, but you still can with the turbo and everything in. So if you do have the turbo in and stuff, don't worry about it too much. Still get them tight. Still need to put my piece back on this, but I'm just gonna run it for now. And yeah, but still don't have the bumper back on. She's looking good though. Got new tires on it while she was down. Still gotta clean these wheels. Clean those wheels though. They're looking shiny. And yeah guys, so that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Gonna be a lot more to come on this thing. If you guys want to stay tuned for that, subscribe please. Help me out, get me more confident to make some of these videos. I know this one's probably pretty crappy, first video. I skipped half of the build process. I didn't do a great job of showing what I was doing, but I'm trying guys. Hopefully the next video is a lot better. But yeah, we'll see you on the next one.